I just need 5 quiet minutes, I murmured to myself as I stepped into the atrium, the smell of espresso curling up like a promise. Coffee, breathe, then the reveal at 6. A shoulder clipped mine. Hard. My strap jerked. I looked down. My purse wasn't there. Hey! I spun. She was already a step away, hand tight around my bag like it had always been hers. Blonde bob, neat coat, a little smile that said I was invisible. That's my purse, I said, steady. She turned wide-eyed, breathless. She grabbed my bag. Her voice soared above the chatter. Help, she's taking my bag. I felt that old iron taste wash over my tongue, the one I learned to swallow young. I lifted my hands, palms open. Security, please, cameras, let's check the cameras. Phones lifted like a field of silver flowers tracking sun. Not for me, for the performance. Ma'am, a guard in a navy jacket approached, palm out like a stop sign. What's going on? She stole my bag. The woman, Lydia, I'd learned, said, voice trembly, hand fluttering to her throat. A practiced fragility. I'm terrified. Terrified, I said, and felt my jaw lock. She yanked it off my shoulder. The cameras will show it. Let's slow it down, the guard said. IDs, names. My ID is in the purse she's holding, I said. Lydia pressed it against her coat like a baby. This is mine. Describe it, I said. Inside the strap, left seam, a tiny burn mark from a curling iron because I multitask. Zipper pull has a hairline crack. Lipstick shade is Volt. There's a key fob. She blinked. Anyone can say that. The crowd breathed like an animal. A teen in a hoodie whispered, I'm recording. Another voice, don't escalate. Someone else, just give it back. Sir, I said to the guard, keeping my voice level, please, ask her to open it. The photo ID will have my face, or we go to the cameras, your choice. He shifted, eyes flicking to Lydia. Ma'am, could you open it? I don't want to be violated, she said, shaky. This is invasive. She followed me. I feel unsafe. Unsafe. That word, wielded like a baton. I swallowed. We are. 10 minutes from 6, I said softly, more to myself than anyone. My watch hummed. I tapped my earpiece and turned my head slightly. Ops, I whispered. Remember 6. Copy, my operations lead Layla said in my ear. We're ready. The guard frowned. What happens at 6? My brand's reveal, I said. Every screen in this mall, my face, my name, and a message about who gets believed. Lydia laughed, short and bright. Oh, please, I looked right at her. You picked the wrong 10 minutes. You're threatening me, she said, voice quivering toward a sob. See how aggressive? I'm insisting on facts. Heat climbed my neck, I breathed. Sir, cameras, he radioed, eyes careful. Control, need a pull on Atrium West, time now -2. Incident with a handbag. On it, a voice crackled back. Lydia tried to pivot, inching away. I'm leaving. I don't feel safe staying. Don't, I said. You won't. Outrun the truth, she snapped, mask slipping. You people always. I felt the floor tilt. Finish that sentence, I said, calm and cold. Silence swelled, thick as syrup. The teen whispered, Got that? Ma'am, the guard said. To Lydia, voice firmer now. Please remain. I'm a victim, she said, softer again, eyes shining toward the nearest phone. I'm just a mom. I came for a candle. And I came for coffee before a launch, I said. I worked 15 years for 10 quiet minutes like this. Open the purse. She clutched it tighter. No. Then cameras, I said. Let the building decide. The guard's radio crackled. Control here, got footage, rolling. He listened, eyes unfocusing, then refocused. They're reviewing. My mouth was dry. I looked at my hands, steady because I trained them to be. When I was 12, I said, not for her, not for them, but for the space between my ribs. A shop clerk followed me down an aisle so close I could feel his breath. I walked so slow it nearly killed me. Stop making this about race, Lydia snapped. It's a bag. It's always a bag, I said. Or a seat, or a voice. It's never the thing. It's the story told about the thing. My earpiece clicked. 5 minutes, Layla said. We can push early. Hold, I whispered. Let truth arrive on its own legs. A woman near the fountain cleared her throat. I saw something, she said, hesitant. I think Her eyes slid to Lydia, then to the phones. She shrank back. I'm not sure, Lydia breathed out like a prayer answered. See, uncertain, it's confusing. The guard's radio popped again. Control, we've got it. He straightened, eyes on me. They're sending a still. Stand by. I exhaled. Long. The air felt heavier, like weather about to break. Sir, I said quieter, please be careful with your next words. They'll live on the internet for a while. A beat. 2. His phone buzzed. He looked down. His face changed. Control confirms, he said, voice even. The footage shows the purse being removed from the complainant's shoulder by the other party. The complainant, Lydia echoed like tasting a new language. That's me, he lifted his eyes to her. No, ma'am, the complainant is this lady. He nodded at me. My knees didn't wobble. Practice. I'll take my purse now, I said. Lydia's hand whitened. It's a mistake. Open it, I said. Let the ID end this. Her chin trembled, then hardened. No. The guard extended his hand. Ma'am. She hugged the bag. This is harassment. My watch ticked. 4 minutes to 6, I tapped my earpiece. Layla. Say the word. I scanned the faces. Hungry, skeptical, amused. 3-minute advance, I said. On my mark, Lydia hissed. You think you're special? I think I'm done asking, I said. Mark. The atrium lights dimmed a breath. Then the screens, every glossy rectangle down the promenade, bloomed to life. My face filled them. The campaign portrait from yesterday's shoot. The line beneath, clean and white. Jobs first. Truth always. A murmur rippled, then a hush. Someone whispered, That's her. The guard's eyes flicked to the nearest screen, then back to me. You're the CEO, I said, calm like a blade that has always been sharp. The company sponsoring your mall event tonight, the one that contracted these screens. Lydia's mouth opened and closed. This is intimidation. This is context, I said. 2 minutes to 6, a woman took my purse and called me a thief. You asked the building for truth. It answered. Now give me my things. Ma'am, the guard said to Lydia, voice unmistakable now, if you don't hand it over, we will escalate. She jerked the zipper. Metal complained. She fumbled. A tube of lipstick flashed. Volt, and a key fob clinked. She froze, eyes darting. ID, I said. She pulled it out with reluctant fingers. My face again, this time small, laminated. She stared at it as if it might change. Then she shoved the purse forward, chin shaking. Fine, mistaken identity. I took it, the leather familiar against my palm. The relief didn't rush me. It settled, stern. There's a word for what you just did, I said, voice low. You tried to write a story on my skin. I'm sorry, she said, but it came out crooked like a word with a limp. Keep recording, the teen whispered to no one and everyone. I looked at the guard. Will you note her statement? I asked. And the camera report? Yes, he said. I'll file it. Good, I said, because apologies matter less than records. The screen cycled. My name, my company, the launch message. We invest where people are underestimated. The caption rolled. We believe in evidence. A soft gasp moved through the atrium, as if the space itself had been waiting to exhale. Lydia swiped her eye. I felt threatened. I know, I said, and in that I felt a small, bitter mercy. Fear is a costume that always fits, but it doesn't make you the main character. A beat passed. The crowd shifted, attention unhooking from the spectacle, some faces ashamed, some relieved. Phones lowered. The guard nodded once, crisp. We're done here. I slid the strap over my shoulder, the weight settling where it belonged. Not quite, I said, and I lifted my chin toward a camera. Keep rolling, we're just getting started. The radio cracks like static in my teeth and I feel the air tighten. Check the footage, I say, steady, like I'm teaching my own heartbeat how to behave. Ma'am, let's keep calm, the guard says, hand raised as if my voice is a weapon. I am calm, I answer. I'm asking for the footage. Lydia's hands tremble like she practiced in a mirror. I'm scared, she whispers toward his shoulder. I don't feel safe. You're holding my purse, I tell her. All my IDs are inside. Let's open it. Or we watch the cameras. Ma'am, the guard repeats, and now he shifts his body between us, the bulk of him a wall I've met my whole life. Step back. I'm already back, I say. I open my hands, empty, visible. Look, nothing here, everything there. I just want to go, Lydia says, squeezing the strap to her chest like a lifeline. She came at me. No, I say. She pulled it. Someone saw. My voice tries to shake. I lock it down. My calm is a glass I refuse to drop. The crowd hums around us, curious, fed. I scan faces. And then I see him. Evan, I call, relief sparking. Hey, you saw. Here 5 minutes ago. His eyes meet mine, then slide away like oil over water. I just got here, he mutters. I don't know what happened. Evan, I say again, softer, trying to land on something solid. You know me. I don't want to get involved, he says, shrinking behind his blazer. It's messy. The betrayal hits like cold air in my lungs. I taste that iron again. It's not messy, I say. It's mine. She has it. Ma'am, lower your voice, the guard warns, even though my voice hasn't risen. We don't need to escalate. I'm asking for de-escalation, I say. Evidence is de-escalation. Cameras. Now. Lydia angles her face toward him. Lashes wet. Voice soft as tissue. I'm shaking. Can you just walk me away from her? I'll decide the next steps, he tells her. But he keeps his back toward me as if I'm a cliff. Crowd, I call, louder, pulling the room to me. Did anyone see her pull it? Anyone? Silence gathers, thick and obedient. Phones stare. Eyes learn to be furniture. Please, Lydia whispers, and it's almost tender. I'm not a fighter. You didn't need to fight, I say. You needed to tell the truth. Ma'am, the guard says again, and the word feels like a leash. We'll sort it out. When? I ask. After she leaves? After the story has been authored and archived? Cameras. He taps his radio. It hisses, stalls as if the truth needs time to buffer. I feel the ache under my ribs, the old private bruise of being alone in a room full of people. I'm cold, Lydia says to the guard, a small shiver. Can I stand behind you? I watch him angle wider, making a shelter that is not offered. To me. Of course, he says, and it's the softness in his tone that makes the hallway in my chest go dark. Evan, I say one more time, even though I already know the answer. Will you at least say you know me? That I'm not this? He swallows. Look, I have a meeting, he mumbles. I'm sorry. He takes 2 steps back, which feel like 2 years. The crowd shifts. A cough, a click, a murmur that sounds like weather deciding which way to move. I hold my hands where everyone can read them. Open, harmless human. I built a company on calm, I say, to the air, to the guard, to myself. I hire people who can keep their hands steady when the storm kicks. I'm keeping mine steady. Cameras, please. The radio pops again. He half listens, half stares at the script he thinks he knows. Control is looking, he says. Good, I breathe. My calm is a tightrope and I feel a wind I've felt all my life. It's just a purse, Lydia murmurs. To no one and everyone. It's never just a purse, I answer. It's permission. I didn't do anything, she says, lower. Now like a secret she wants the room to keep. Then you'll be happy when the footage clears you, I say. Right? She doesn't answer. I scan the edge of the atrium again, desperate for an anchor, and I find her. Ms. Ruth at her kiosk. Thread spools stacked like candy, eyes sharp as needles. She catches my gaze and nods once. Small. Certain. It settles me. A seam knotted. A hem held. Thank you. I breathe. Barely a sound. A prayer to a woman who has stitched my cuffs and sometimes my courage. Okay, the guard says, as if he's granting me breath. We'll walk to the office. I'm not moving without my bag, I reply. You can walk her. I'll wait here under every camera in this atrium. Refusing to comply won't help, he says. Comply with what? I ask. A story that was invented 2 minutes ago? Please, Lydia whispers, and the sound collects sympathy, like spare change. I feel targeted. You targeted me, I say, and I'm still using please. The teen from earlier raises his phone a little higher. I'm filming, he says, trying to make his voice important. For, accountability. Thank you, I tell him, and it cost me less than I thought it would. Keep it steady, Evan edges farther away as if proximity is a stain. I watch him choose comfort like a suit that always fits. It burns more than I want to admit. I tuck the fire under my tongue. I'll describe the inside of the bag, I tell the guard, a new angle, another door. There's a tiny burn on the left seam, zipper pull with a hairline crack, a lipstick called Volt. Anyone could guess lipstick, Lydia says, her smile flickering like a bad light. You're making me nervous. I'm making you honest, I say. Enough, the guard says, finally sounding like command. We'll wait for control. I've been waiting for control since I was 12, I reply. Take your time. Lydia leans closer to him. She's being aggressive with words, she breathes. It's a lot. It's measured, I say, and necessary. The radio snaps hard. He tilts his head, listens, gives me a look I've seen on doctors and doormen, professional, distant, powerful because it's practiced. They're pulling the segment, he says. 2 minutes. I'll count, I say. Seconds are long when your name is on trial. My chest tightens and then Ms. Ruth shifts in her kiosk, just one step forward, hands folded. The move is so small I almost miss it, but it sharpens the world. I hang my balance on that nod from a woman who hems other people's clothes so they fit the truth of their bodies. Crowd, I say again, gentler, almost pleading. Did anyone see her pull it? Just a hand raise. Just a word. Shoes shuffle, a throat clears. A mother whispers to a child to stop pointing. The silence grows a spine. I saw something, someone says from the left. I think. Then they fold the sentence back into their mouth. It's okay, I say, and I mean it. Fear is loud, courage is quieter. I get it. The guard inhales like he wants to say I don't get it at all. Then his radio chirps and gives him an answer even he can't massage. He glances at the screen on his wrist and his jaw changes. Control. Says they have the footage, he announces. We'll confirm identities shortly. Great, I say. My voice stays low because I promised myself it would. We can all stop pretending calm is compliance and get to the part with facts. I'm still scared, Lydia whispers, squeezing the strap, knuckles pale. I'm the one shaking. And I'm the one stripped, I say. Of my name, my things, my benefit of the doubt. Look at my hands, steady, empty. Look at hers. Evan shifts again, but he doesn't speak. I take the ache he leaves and press it flat like a seam under a hot iron. It will hold for now. 2 minutes, the guard repeats, as if time belongs. To him. 2 minutes, I echo, borrowing Ms. Ruth's nod and stitching it to my spine. I've waited longer for less. What's the issue? He says it like a door half open. I clock the badge, Mr. Keene, mall manager. Crisp tie. Measured tone. She grabbed my purse. Lydia jumps in, breath catching on cue. I'm terrified. I asked for cameras. I say, steady. I'm still asking. Let's follow procedure, Mr. Keene replies, palms low, soothing a problem he hasn't named. Security will sort it out. My purse is in her hands, I say, and I show my empty ones like a testimony. Sort that out. Ma'am, we'll handle it, the guard says, shifting again so his shoulder is my horizon. Keep calm. I am calm. I taste the lie I refuse to swallow. I count under my breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The way my grandmother taught. Me when the world tilted on its old hinge. Evan hovers at the edge, pretending to scroll like the phone requires prayer. I raise my voice just enough. Evan, you know me. He doesn't lift his head. I'm just catching up on emails. Look at me, I say. He doesn't. I didn't see anything. Of course, I say. The ache lands low and, familiar, the kind you hide in good shoes. Lydia presses the bag tighter. Can I be escorted away? I feel hunted. You are holding what you took, I tell her. No one is hunting you. Mr. Keene clears his throat. We can go to a back office and talk. I won't be disappeared, I answer. We'll handle this here, under the cameras, in public sight. That's not necessary, he says. Kind almost to the point of insult. We try to minimize disruption. Disruption is already here, I say. It arrived when my name got swapped for hers. The crowd edges closer, creating that soft, respectful hush that always happens before a lie makes a home. I feel the circle tighten, bodies arranging themselves into a ring I didn't volunteer for. Jade, I call, catching the teenage barista's eyes over the espresso machine. Did you see the pull? She freezes, steam hissing like a warning. I saw hands, she says. It was fast. Fast is fine, I say. Fast lives on camera. The guard lifts his radio. It crackles, then stalls. Controls reviewing, he mutters. Good, I say. Let them review. Noah. The janitor with the deliberate steps pauses with his bucket, gaze flicking up toward the domed lens above the fountain. That one's got a clean angle, he says almost to himself. Thank you, I say, and his nod is small, but it threads through my spine like reinforcement. Back office, Mr. Keene repeats like a mantra. It's standard. Standard. Is how Harm gets furniture and a lease, I say. I'm staying in the light. Ma'am, the guard warns, cooperate. I am, I say. With the truth. Lydia edges closer to Mr. Keene. My heart is racing. She's aggressive. With words. I'm detailed, I answer. There's a difference. Everyone, lower the volume, Mr. Keene soothes. We're all adults. I am lowering my blood pressure while explaining theft, I say. That's more work than your tone. Evan coughs. Maybe don't make it a scene. It's already a scene, I tell him. You just chose a seat in the dark. He flinches. I don't want trouble. You wanted quiet, I say. Quiet always picks a side. The clock by the fountain ticks loud enough to find my pulse. Minutes slide toward 6. My team's text glows on my watch. Ready. I swallow the urge to snap my fingers and light the screens. Not yet. Let the room decide what story it wants to live with. Count for me. I whisper into the space only I hear. 1 for every time I've been told to soften. 2 for girls who learned to tuck their names into their shoes. 3 for the uncle who taught me to breathe when someone tests your right to stand. 4 for the door they always try to usher you through. 5 for the camera that does not blink. Ma'am, Mr. Keene tries again, voice dipped in corporate balm. Nobody wants this to escalate. I want it to document, I say. Escalation is when she walks away with my life in her hand and a chorus calling me danger, Lydia sniffles. I'm just a shopper. I'm just a CEO, I say. We're both sentences, only mine. Keeps its verb, a murmur rolls across the circle. The crowd leans in. Security, I ask. Can we open the bag? ID solves this in 10 seconds. Not without consent, Mr. Keene says. Quick now, seeing a rule he can hold. We follow. Please then cameras, I say. Policy loves cameras. Control needs another minute, the guard answers. Evan, I call once more because some betrayals deserve a final chance to change shape. Will you say my name out loud? He swallows. It's not my place. It was your place. When you slid into my DMs for a reference last year, I say, soft enough to cut. Say my name. His mouth opens, then shuts. Silence blooms like a bruise. Jade steps closer to her counter, the metal spoon rattling against ceramic. I think I saw a yank, she says, voice barely there. Like a quick jerk. Noah nods toward the camera again. Angle's clean. Fountain's reflection might show more. I meet their eyes. Thank you, Mr. Keene tries a smile that doesn't touch anything. Let's all appreciate cooperation. What we appreciate, I say, is visibility. Lydia raises the bag an inch. It looks like mine, maybe the same model. Open it, I say, find the burn mark in the left seam. The cracked zipper pull. The lipstick called Volt. She shakes her head. I don't consent. You don't consent to evidence, I answer. Noted. The guard steps, then stops, as if the floor made a new rule. We'll wait for confirmation. You already have it, I say, and I pull the circle's gaze to the clock. In 2 minutes, these screens will play my campaign. My face, my name. When they do, remember how quiet you were. That sounds like a threat, Mr. Keene says, the softness thin now. It's a timestamp, I reply. On your decisions. A woman behind me whispers, This is uncomfortable. I turn slightly, not breaking the center. Justice is famously uncomfortable. Mr. Keene exhales. We really should move. I'm planted, I say, and I set my heels like anchors. If you need a room, make the atrium a room. Protocol, he begins. Protocol isn't a parachute. For bias, I cut in. It won't land you where you think. The radio chirps again, closer to an answer. The guard listens, and I watch his posture compute. He glances at the fountain camera, then at me. Almost there, he says. Good, I say, because I'm not leaving the frame. Evan finally lifts his head, guilt like a shine. If the footage is clear, then yeah, okay. Keep that sentence, I tell him. You'll need it. Lydia's voice thins. I feel surrounded. I meet her eyes. We're both in a circle. Only one of us tried to draw an exit. Clock ticks. The crowd holds its breath. Jade's hand stills. Noah's bucket doesn't slosh. Mr. Keene smooths the air with his palm, but the air no longer belongs to him. I raise my chin to the nearest lens. My name is on this, I say, to the camera, to the hush, to the bone-deep memory of every time I was asked to step aside. We'll handle this here. The radio snaps with a finality I recognize from boardrooms and hospital corridors. The EDID guard focuses, listening hard, and the circle leans, hungry for a verdict. 1 more minute, he says. I let the silence do the work. I breathe 5 again. I hold the line. I do not vanish. Child, breathe. I hear Ms. Ruth before I turn. I am, I say, though my chest saws. I'm trying. Come here, she says. Not far, just here. I step toward her kiosk. I feel Lydia's shadow sliding with me, the guard pacing. A slow orbit, Mr. Keene's tie radiating procedure. The crowd leans like a tide. I grip the edge of the glass case where threads gleam like candy. Hands, Ms. Ruth murmurs. Lay them flat. I place my palms on the glass. They won't listen. Heat and pressure, she says, voice low, almost a hum. An iron on silk tells the truth of a fabric. If it's real, it shines. If it's cheap, it scorches. Breathe and let the iron pass, you hear me? I hear you. Again, I hear you. Good. She tilts her chin toward the guard. Now speak your ask. I turn back, air cooler in my throat. Security, I say steady. I request immediate camera review, not later now. Lydia lets out a little laugh that tries to be a cough. CEO tone, huh? Practiced. My name, I say, and I speak it plain. No glitter, no armor. That's the tone. Mr. Keene folds his hands. We'll let security handle the systems. Security. I glance at the guard. Your radio, the booth. 2 minutes ago you said pull, pull. He taps the radio like it might bite. We're in queue. Queue sounds like a hallway with no doors. I look to the cafe. Jade? Her eyes jump. Like a deer hearing gravel. I recorded something, she whispers. I don't know if it's clear. Thank you, I say. Clarity grows when courage does. Mr. Keene waves a gentle no at her. Let security handle all recordings, please. Security didn't. Hold my strap while it was taken, I say. The public did. Public eyes matter. Noah rolls his bucket a foot and stops, one finger tapping his temple like a metronome. I remember seconds, he says. Angles, the fountain lens sees the left side. The kiosk mirror here catches the right. 2 eyes. 2 eyes, I repeat. 2 witnesses. Let's not turn everyone into investigators, Mr. Keene says. We don't need a mob. We need a record, I say. Mobs invent, records reveal. Lydia hugs the purse like a soft pet. You're grandstanding, she says. This is intimidation. This is my property, I answer. This is my name. Ma'am, the guard interjects. I said, we're reviewing. And I'm insisting that review has a clock, I say. I glance at the fountain clock and feel the minute hand nudge me. 10 minutes drum inside my ribs. I lower my eyes to my phone and text. If I say now, flip the schedule. My screen glows back. Copy. Ready on your word. Child, Ms. Ruth says without moving her mouth, just the smallest pulse of sound. Don't let fury be the iron. Let it be the steam. I'm choosing, I whisper. I'm choosing. Evan hovers to my right, pretending to read an email he will not remember. I aim a line of voice at him. You know who I am. I told you. He mutters. I didn't. See? You saw me, I say. You know me. He shrugs, a shape made of fog. This isn't it's not my lane. Your lane is paved with my references, I say, soft enough that only guilt can hear it. Let's reset, Mr. Keene says, palms open like he's catching a bird. We're getting heightened. I'm not heightened, I say. I'm documented. Lydia tilts her head. So corporate, so composed, it's scary. It's survival, I say. Jade edges one step from the espresso machine. Do you want me to send the clip? Hold it, I tell her. Don't delete. Don't post, just hold it like a candle. Security will request any relevant media, Mr. Keene says, voice syrup. We don't need extra chaos. Chaos came wearing a smile, I say. Order is cameras. The guard rubs his jaw. Control says 30 seconds. 30. I echo and I breathe with it. 1 for the iron, 2 for the silk, 3 for the seam, 4 for the steam. 5 for the shine I plan to keep. Lydia leans toward me, voice pitched for a microphone. I never said anything about race. You didn't have to, I say. You said unsafe. The room did the rest. I feel unsafe now, she says, blinking hard. You feel witnessed, I say. Witnessed is different. Ma'am, Mr. Keene warns, polite iron in his tone. Be mindful. I have been mindful since I learned to carry my school ID on the outside of my backpack, I say. I am mind itself. Ms. Ruth taps my wrist with one knuckle. You're holding, she whispers. Good. Noah points with his chin toward the fountain camera. There, the guard listens to a voice I can't hear. His shoulders hitch, then settle. Okay, he says. Control has a still. They're sending it down. Pull it up, I say. Procedure, Mr. Keene intones. We'll review privately. I refuse privacy, I say. I refuse to be taken to a back room where stories get washed. Ma'am, that's uncharitable, he says. It's accurate, I say. Accuracy sometimes has teeth. Jade swallows. I can airdrop it if… No, I tell her again. Hold, let the mall show its own eyes. Lydia's smile trembles. You're enjoying this. I am holding ground, I say. Enjoyment is a beach. I'm on a cliff. The radio crackles. The guard's phone pings. He looks down, he reads. His mouth tightens into something that could become an apology if he lets it. Say it, I tell him. Out loud. One moment, Mr. Keene says quickly. Let's be responsible. I've been responsible for all of us, I say. For years, your turn. Ms. Ruth's voice threads my spine. Steam, child. Steam, I breathe. The guard looks up. Control confirms an interaction, he says carefully. We're clarifying. Clarifying what? I ask. Hands, direction, who pulled whom? Lydia shifts the bag behind her elbow. This feels like harassment. Harassment is a hand on a strap that isn't yours, I say. Harassment is a lie told loudly. Mr. Keene holds up his calming hands again. Let's not litigate. We are litigating, I say. Only our courtroom is tiled and sells pretzels. A ripple of nervous laughter from the edges. It dies fast. The clock ticks. My phone buzzes once, Layla. We can flip on now. You decide. Jade, I say. my voice a little warmer, because she is a kid with a phone and a heart. If this goes sideways, you'll send me what you have. Okay, she says, small but standing. Noah, I say, you'll remember. I always do, he says. Mr. Keene exhales, long, as if discipline is oxygen. We'll take statements, he says. That's the fairest path. Fair is the footage, I say. Statements decorate truth, footage is the wall. Ma'am, you're making this adversarial, he says. It arrived adversarial, I say. I'm trying to keep it accurate. Lydia's voice slips softer. I want to go home. I want to drink the coffee I paid for, I say. I want to walk into my own reveal without tasting iron. Reveal? Mr. Keene asks, eyebrows rising. 6 o'clock, I say. Every screen, jobs first, truth always. That's unrelated, he says. Everything is related when reputation is the currency, I say. The guard's radio clicks again, like a lock letting go. He nods, eyes on me now. They're sending full clip, he says, 30 seconds. Then we wait here, I say, all of us, facing the light. I lift my phone one more time, thumb hovering over the word I already typed. Now I hover, then I pocket it. Not yet, I whisper, only for Ms. Ruth in my own bones. Strategy, she whispers back. You wear it well. I borrowed it from you, I say. She smiles, small as a stitch. Then pay it forward. I will, I say, and I turn to the guard. And you will play the clip. 6 minutes, I tell myself, and the words tick in my throat like a metronome. 6. She followed me, Lydia says to a couple near the planter, voice quick and breathy. She screamed at me. I thought she'd hit me. I didn't, I say, not to her, to the space between us. I asked for cameras. She's twisting it, she rushes on, painting me with sentences. I don't even know her. You know my bag, I answer. Mr. Keene slides closer, hands splayed like he's smoothing a wrinkled sheet. Ma'am, let's be mindful about causing a scene. The scene started when my property moved without me, I say. I'm minding the only thing that clears it, evidence. Security is handling it, he says. Let's keep the temperature down. I am the thermostat, I say, and I look at the guard. If the footage proves me right, will you return? My purse in front of everyone? He blinks. Let's wait for confirmation. That wasn't the question, I say. Will you return it here out loud? We don't want to embarrass anyone, he hedges. I've already been nominated, I say. Answer. He looks at Mr. Keene. Mr. Keene looks at his tie. No one looks at me. Jade, I call, keeping my voice low even. Do you still have the clip? She nods, a small hinge of courage. Yes. Hold it, I say. Don't post, don't delete. Lydia laughs, airy and brittle. Now she's recruiting children. I'm acknowledging witnesses, I say. Adults forgot how. A murmur builds. The crowd tilts, not yet falling. I can feel belief trying to find gravity. 6 minutes? I repeat, softer. 5 now. Stop counting, Mr. Keene says, friendly like a fence. It adds pressure. Pressure reveals, I say. Ask anyone who irons. The guard's radio hisses, then quiets. He shifts his weight. Control is assembling the clip. Good, I say. We're assembling ourselves. Lydia turns. To a different set of eyes. She grabbed me first, she says, hand to throat. I was terrified. You grabbed what's mine, I answer. Terror is the story you borrowed when the truth didn't fit. Ma'am, the guard warns. Don't antagonize. Truth only antagonizes lies, I say. If that stings, consider why. A man near the fountain asks the woman beside him, What happened? She shrugs. The shrug is a verdict that hasn't learned its words. I pivot so they hear me. I asked for cameras. I'm waiting for cameras. I'm not moving this into a back office. We do it here. Mr. Keene clears his throat. We can resolve this more discreetly. Discretion is how erasure gets good lighting, I say. Please, Lydia says, to anyone who will hold the sound. I just want to feel safe. You feel centered, I say. Safety is a different noun. Stop making speeches, Mr. Keene says, still polite, always polite. I'm making requests, I say. Return the bag if the footage shows the pole, say it. The guard rubs at his temple. We'll follow protocol. Protocol can be spoken in public, I say. Try it. He doesn't. Jade inches closer to the counter's edge. My clip, it shows hands. I think it shows the direction. Direction matters, I say. Thank you. A teen lifts his phone higher. She's staying calm, he tells his screen, amazed like he discovered weather. She's performing. Lydia snaps, then softens. I'm shaking. You're rehearsed, I say. Enough, Mr. Keene murmurs. Everyone lower their volume. Watch how low I can go, I say, and I let silence enter my lungs. Listen to the quiet. The hush spreads. It hums. It makes the clock louder. The clock tells me 4. I hold the pause like a blade. I don't beg. I don't plead. I let the stillness show my outline, sharp and clean. Security. I say into the quiet, each word distinct. If the footage shows her taking my purse, you will return it to me here, and you will say so. Yes or no, he exhales. We'll acknowledge the findings. Say the sentence, I say. Practice it. The footage shows. Let's not rehearse hypotheticals, Mr. Keene interjects. It's not hypothetical, I say. It happened. We're choosing how we meet it. Lydia edges behind Mr. Keene's shoulder. Can you walk me away from her? I'm not moving, I say. I'm not blocking. I'm not touching. I'm standing where the light is. Ma'am, the guard says, please don't crowd. I'm the one being orbited, I say. Look at your feet. A woman near the kiosk whispers. This feels ugly. It is, I say. Ugly has a face when you don't look away. The radio crackles again. The guard listens. They're syncing the angles, he says. 1 more minute. 3, I whisper to myself. Too soon. Then 1, Mr. Keene tries a new angle. What is your goal here? Restitution, I say. Documentation, a correction with a voice. That sounds punitive, he says. That sounds public, I say. Publicness is the point. Lydia's smile twitches. She keeps saying, public like she's important. I'm saying public because it's the only thing that stops rooms from shrinking, I say. And I am important. To me. Ma'am, the guard says, eyes avoiding mine. Let's be patient. I have been patient since I was followed in a pharmacy aisle at 12, I say. I have infinite patience. I just measure it out. Oud, Jade swallows. If they ask, I'll send it. They'll ask, I say, and you'll send, and you'll keep a copy. Mr. Keene frowns. We don't need multiple versions floating around. We need redundancy when belief is fragile, I say. Can we please stop turning this into a rally? Lydia pleads. I'm scared. You're centered, I repeat, gentler than she deserves. Centered people confuse mirrors with threats. The guard's phone buzzes. He checks it. His eyebrows lift, then flatten. Almost ready, he says. 30 seconds. 30, I echo. And then we speak plainly. He avoids my eyes. We'll proceed appropriately. Appropriate would have been believing the woman who asked for cameras before anyone asked for comfort, I say. A few faces shift. The tilt begins. Not a fall, a lean. Mr. Keene tries the smile again. Let's all remember we're in a shared space. I'm sharing, I say. My fear, my name, my time. What's your name? Someone asks from the second ring. I say it again, plain as bread. No flourish, no title. Just the sound I kept safe for years. I watch it land in ears that weren't going to ask. Thank you, the someone says, and it's small but it moves air. 2, I breathe. Lydia clutches, the purse tighter. Why do you want to humiliate me? I don't, I say. I want to end an attempted humiliation of me. The location is the same. The subject changes. Ma'am, the guard warns. Language. Language is all I have until you hit play, I say. So I'm using it carefully. Mr. Keene steps in, last try. Let's step into the office. We'll announce the result afterward. No, I say. Announce the result with me in the frame. If I'm wrong, I'll carry it. If I'm right, you will hand me my purse and you will say why. The radio snaps. The guard straightens. Control has the clip. The hush deepens until I can hear the fountain breathe. I pull my shoulders back, not larger, not smaller, exact. 6 minutes, I tell myself one last time, though the number is gone. Now. Play it, I say, and I hold the pause like a blade until someone decides which way their belief will tilt. Back office, Mr. Keene says, and he points like the hallway is mercy. Not here. Here, I answer, and I set my heels on the tile like anchors. We finish in the light. Ma'am, the guard says, already moving, we need a controlled environment. This is controlled, I tell him. Cameras, witnesses, my name. Lydia gives a little wobble and clutches the strap. I feel faint, she whispers, soft as tissue. Can someone help me? I watch the guard's hand touch her elbow. He flicks a glance at me like the air is my fault. Ma'am, he warns, don't agitate her. I'm steady, I say. I'm asking for the clip. Back office, Mr. Keene repeats, silk over steel. It's procedure. Erasure is not a procedure, I say. It's a habit. Please, Lydia says, leaning harder. I'm unsafe. You're centered, I say. I'm the one being asked to vanish. Don't turn this into a spectacle, Mr. Keene says. We'll resolve it professionally. It became a spectacle when you built a circle around me and called it help, I reply. Play the footage. Let's move, the guard insists. We can't block the atrium. I'm not blocking, I say. I'm being blocked. Jade's voice drifts from the counter. I still have the clip, she says, small and sure. Hold it, I tell her. Don't lose it. Noah clears. His throat careful but clear. I saw her snatch it, he says, left hand quick off the strap. The words hang like glass beads. I feel the room lean. Sir, Mr. Keene snaps, veneer cracked. Stay out of official procedure. I'm in unofficial reality, Noah answers, and even his bucket seems to agree. Don't interfere, Mr. Keene repeats. Interference happened when the truth got interrupted, I say. Now it's trying to catch up. Ma'am. The guard says, voice tightening, I need you to comply. With what, I ask, a disappearing act? We'll review privately, he says. I refuse privacy, I answer. You took my name in public, you return it in public. Lydia's eyes shine. She's threatening me. I'm time-stamping you, I say. There's a difference. Everyone calm down, Mr. Keene orders. Hands up, palms patting. The air. Back office now. A lie rushes. Truth doesn't run, I say, and I hear my grandmother's kitchen in my mouth. I'm not running. Ma'am, I'm not moving, I cut in. Play the clip. The fountain hisses behind us like applause we haven't earned yet. I let the sound wash the heat in my ribs. I pull out my phone, the word already typed. Now. I send it. My palm buzzes almost at once. Ready. The screen answers. I slide the phone back, and I look at Lydia until she sees the place inside me she cannot touch. I will not be moved, I tell her. She blinks. You're enjoying the power. I'm enduring the pattern, I say. Different P, same alphabet. Security, Mr. Keene says, ignoring me. Escort both parties. No, I say, and I step a half step so the camera gets my face clean. I'm not a party, I'm a person. And my purse is here. Stop making speeches, the guard mutters. I am making a record, I say. Records are inconvenient to people who have relied on convenience. Ma'am, don't what? I ask. Don't speak in complete sentences? Don't remind you this began with my property in her hand? Lydia sways again. My heart is racing. Mine learned to pace itself in rooms like this, I say. It's an endurance athlete. A woman at the edge whispers. He said he saw it. He did, I say, and I incline my head toward Noah. And there's a camera that doesn't blink. Control is sending. The guard says, voice clipped. We'll confirm. Here, I say. Back office, Mr. Keene repeats, worn groove, same tone. Here, I repeat, new groove, sharper tone. Because disappearance is the oldest trick, and I've seen it. Enough, he warns. We will not litigate. On the floor. You already litigated me when you chose whose trembling hand to hold, I say. The verdict can arrive where it started. Jade wipes a cup that doesn't need wiping. I can airdrop it to you, she offers. Hold, I tell her again. You are Plan B. I'm letting them try Plan A without cheating. Sir, step back, Mr. Keene tells Noah. I'm not in your way, Noah says. You're in your own way. Security, Mr. Keene says, sharper. Do your job. Play the clip, I say to the guard. Then do whatever job comes next. He exhales, cheeks flaring. Ma'am, you're making this hard. I'm making it honest, I say. Honest is rarely easy. Lydia tilts toward him. She's harassing me. I'm speaking, I say. If your fear confuses words with hands, that's a separate conversation. Tone, Mr. Keene warns. Evidence, I counter. The teen with the phone pipes up. Can we just see it? That's not, Mr. Keene starts. How you like to do it, I finish. I know, but we're here. Ma'am, last chance, the guard says. Back office. Last chance, I answer, to do this visibly. Silence settles, heavy as a verdict that hasn't learned how to walk. The fountain keeps hissing. I count 1 breath, then 2, then 3, and I remember my grandmother's hands smoothing a collar before church. A lie rushes, I repeat. Softer now. Truth doesn't run. Control has the clip. The guard says at last, radio cracking. 30 seconds. Then 30 here, I say. Not there. Mr. Keene pinches the bridge of his nose. You're putting us in a difficult position. You put me there first, I say. I'm simply refusing to kneel. Lydia's voice goes small. I don't want to be humiliated. I've carried humiliation like a handbag I didn't. Buy, I say. I'm returning it to the store. Crowd, Mr. Keene calls, professional smile pasted on. Please give us space. Don't shrink the frame, I tell him. The truth needs witnesses. Ma'am, play it, I say, and I don't raise my voice. I sharpen it. Say the words. We will play the clip here. He hesitates, and I hold the pause like a blade. Wheel. He starts, then stops. Noah taps the bucket rim. Left hand, quick, off the strap. He repeats, patient as gravity. I'm shaking, Lydia says again. Then set the weight down, I tell her. It isn't yours. The guard's phone buzzes. He looks. He squints. Okay, he says. Finally, we can mirror it to the kiosk screen. Do it, I say. Mr. Keene bristles. That screen is for tenant use. That tenant is my mentor, I say, and I glance at Ms. Ruth's patient, spool-bright world. She'll lend it. To the truth. I will, Ms. Ruth says, and I feel her yes like a pin that holds a seam without drawing blood. Fine, Mr. Keene says, defeated diplomacy. Quickly. Quickly is how lies prefer to live, I say. But I'll take it. The guard moves to connect his device. Lydia grips the purse like it's a raft on a carpeted sea. I feel my phone in my pocket. The word ready cooling there like a coin. I keep my finger off the trigger. I want the building to speak before my screens. Do. Now? Layla had asked in the vibration. Not yet. I breathe to myself, to Ms. Ruth, to the fountain. Let them all earn its say. Ma'am, the guard calls, stand where the camera can see you. I've been standing there, I say. Since you arrived. Video up, he says. Here, I answer, and I hold my ground. And I meet Lydia's eyes again so she knows exactly what kind of weather she's in. I will not be moved. 5, 4, 3. I count inside my mouth, the numbers a pulse against my tongue. I don't touch my phone, I don't blink. The lights dim a breath. Then the air ignites. Every screen wakes at once. Sound washes the atrium. My voice, my cadence, my childhood stitched to a drumline. I was a little black girl who learned to hold her chin level. My voice says from the ceiling, clean, resonant. I grew into a woman who signs payroll for hundreds, jobs first, truth always. Heads turn like flowers to sun. I watch recognition move through faces like current. I don't smile. I let the film do what I built it to do. Center a name that never asked permission. What is this? Lydia whispers, then louder, brittle. What is happening? My launch, I say. 6 o'clock. You planned this, she spits. I worked for this, I answer. There's a difference. The guard's hand drops from his radio. Is that you? He asks, as if the question can shrink the screens. It is, I say. And I'm the same person who asked you for cameras. Mr. Keene stares up like the ceiling moved. Ms. Amina, I say. Amina Cole. My name hits the speakers with its own music. On screen I walk a factory floor and tap knuckles with women in hairnets. On screen I pitch to a union hall and mean every word. On screen I look into the lens and say, we invest where people are underestimated. She's the CEO, someone says, almost apologizing to the air. I told you, the teen with the phone murmurs. I told you she was calm. I've been calm my whole life, I say. Calm isn't a trick, it's armor. Lydia tightens the strap. This is intimidation. This is context, I say. Now we can review the cameras. The hush that follows feels ceremonial, like a carpet unrolled for the truth to walk. On without tripping. The fountain hisses like it's approving the agenda. Jade steps out from behind her counter. I have the clip, she says, voice small but steady. It shows the pull, I think. Hold it, I tell her. We'll add it to the record. Noah takes one step forward, bucket parked, stance as even as a plumb line. Left hand quick off the strap, he repeats. I said it before, I'll say it again. Mr. Keene clears his throat, still searching for a script. Let's not make assumptions. We're done with assumptions, I reply. We're ready for playback. Back office, he starts. Here, I cut in. In the light you tried to move me out of. The guard looks at his device, then at Ms. Ruth's kiosk screen, then at the nearest colossal LED where my face holds my own gaze. We can mirror the clip to the tenant screen, he says, if the tenant consents. I consent, Ms. Ruth says from her kingdom of needles and thread, and I feel the stitch take. Lydia edges behind Mr. Keene's shoulder. You're all ganging up on me, she says, eyes darting. I'm the one who felt unsafe. You borrowed that word, I say, and I keep my tone soft enough not to cut the people who need it. You didn't earn it, ma'am. The guard says to me, gentler than before, if the footage shows what you're saying, we'll resolve it publicly. Say the sentence, I tell him. Practice it. The footage shows Ms. Cole's purse being taken, and we are returning. Did hear, he swallows but he nods. We'll say that, if it shows that. It will, Noah says. Play it, I say. Before he connects, another beat of the film rolls across the atrium. My childhood photo flashes on the big screen, braids and a pink backpack I begged for. I was taught to carry proof, my voice says. Not to be believed, but to be prepared. Someone exhales like they've been holding air since they were 9. Lydia whispers, this is unfair. I know the taste, I say. You tried to feed it to me. The guard taps, fumbles, then gets the mirror up on Ms. Ruth's screen. The crowd compresses by inches. No one wants to be the one who pushed. Phones tilt, not to perform, but to witness. I place my hands on the glass of the kiosk to keep them from shaking. They don't. Mr. Keene attempts one last tether. No commentary during playback, he says. Only facts, I reply. The clip begins, silent, grain smoothed, time stamp in the corner. I watch my double enter frame. I watch Lydia's double tilt, align, reach. I watch the strap jump. I don't. Breathe until the guard inhales for me. There, Noah says. Pause, I say. And the guard freezes the frame with Lydia's hand hooked, my shoulder tugged. The image hangs like a verdict that grew its own spine. Lydia's mouth opens, then doesn't find a sentence. That could be. It is, I say. Now say the line. The guard straightens. He looks at me, not through me, not past me. The footage shows Ms. Amina Cole's purse being removed from her shoulder by the other party. He says, voice firm enough to carry. We are returning it here. Silence, then a low sound. Shock, relief, apology. That moves like a tide. Against tile. Hand it over, I say, and I don't flinch. Lydia's fingers tighten and then let go. She extends the purse with a tremor she can't style. I made a mistake. You made a choice, I say. Mistakes are for math. I take the strap, the weight settling where it belongs. I don't let the relief make me soft. Security, please note her statement and the camera record. We will, the guard says. Mr. Keene nods too fast. We'll file a full report. You'll also make a verbal correction, I add, turning slightly so the circle hears. Here, now. He swallows. Mall management acknowledges that an error was made in initial assumptions, he says. Ms. Cole's property was taken and is being returned. Thank you, I say. It doesn't taste sweet, it tastes necessary. I felt threatened, Lydia mutters, shrinking without leaving. I thought... You thought the room would believe you without evidence, I say. Because it often does. That's not about you alone, I finish. It's about everything that taught you to expect an exit hatch with my name on it. Jade raises her phone. Do you want my clip too? Yes, I say. Then keep a copy for yourself, Mr. Keene winces. Let's be careful with distribution. Careful is good, I say. Quiet isn't. On the big screens, the last line of my film lands. Truth isn't a spotlight, it's a payroll. The logo fades. The atrium lights regain their regular courage. The crowd exhales, not all at once. A woman near the fountain says, I'm sorry, like she's not sure who deserves it. I nod once. Forgiveness is a different department. Today, I'm in records. The guard faces me straight on. Ms. Cole, he says, formal now. Do you want to press charges? I want documentation and a public correction, I answer. Then, I have a stage to walk onto. We can do both, he says. Good, I say, then do both. Lydia whispers to no one. I didn't mean harm. Harm doesn't check intent before it goes to work, I say. It punches the clock. I slide the strap over my shoulder. The leather kisses the spot it left. I look at Noah. Thank you, he nods. I remember seconds. I look at Jade. Thank you. She nods back, cheeks blotchy, brave. I just hit record. That's how history gets a spine, I say. Someone hits record. Mr. Keene clears his throat again, finding his polished tone. We appreciate your cooperation, Ms. Cole. You resisted it, I tell him. Then the screens did what you wouldn't. He doesn't argue. I lift my chin to the nearest camera and let it read the face it tried to mislabel. We can review the cameras, I say again, quieter now because the sentence has already done its work. And we will. Run it again, I say, not loud, not soft, exact. Side by side. The guard lifts the tablet. On the left, mall footage, grain clean, timestamp bright. On the right, Jade's clip, shakier, closer, a breathy gasp under the image. 2. Angles of the same second. My shoulder. Lydia's hand. The tug. There, Noah says, tapping the air once. Left hand. Quick. Off the strap. Freeze, I tell the guard. He pauses at the hook of fingers on leather. I don't add adjectives. The picture has enough. Mr. Keene fusses with his tie like it might hide him. We've confirmed, he says. We need clarity, I say. We're giving it to the room. Jade nudges closer, knuckles white around. Her phone. Mine matches, she whispers. You can see the pull. I can, I say. For the record, it matches. Lydia swallows, staring at her own hands like they betrayed her. It looked like mine, she says, thin. Same model. I swear I thought, please return my purse, I say, plain as bread. She blinks. I'm asking, I say. Please return my purse. The guard clears his throat. Ma'am, he says to Lydia, formal now. Hand it over, her jaw tenses. I feel attacked. You're being asked, I answer. There's a difference. The crowd has learned to breathe together. No one moves. The fountain hisses, like a radio between stations. I keep my hands at my sides because that is how I stay human to people trained to doubt it. I didn't mean, Lydia starts. Intent is a separate form, I say. We'll sign it later. The bag, please. Her fingers tremble. Tears gather but don't fall. I recognize the rehearsal. She loosens the strap 1 inch, then another, then finally lets gravity finish the work. The purse slides toward me across the glass of Ms. Ruth's case and kisses my palm with the weight I've been pretending not to miss. I don't let relief turn into gloating. I feed it to steadiness. I open the zipper, slow, not dramatic, deliberate. Inside, the little linen name tag I stitched 3 years ago sits against the pocket, my ink faded but legible. I touch the corner with one fingertip. Beneath it, my grandmother's locket waits like a promise I kept. I lift the chain an inch. The clasp clicks against itself, a tiny lock closing. I breathe out. I breathe in. For the record, I say, eyes on the guard. State what the clip shows. He straightens, volume pitched to carry. The footage shows Ms. Amina Cole's purse being removed from her shoulder by the other party, he says. It corroborates with a witness video. The purse has been returned. And management? I turn my head an inch. Mr. Keene nods. Stiff. Mall management acknowledges the error in initial assumptions, he says. We will document and correct. Good, I say. We'll add the time and place. A woman near the fountain exhales. Lord. A man beside her says, quiet. Next time we wait for the video. Somewhere behind me, a child whispers, that's her on the big TV. And I am glad the screen's already said my name so I don't have to say it again. Jade edges in, phone hovering. Do you want me to airdrop the clip to your team? Yes, I say. Then keep a copy for yourself. And email it to the address the guard gives you. Mr. Keene opens his mouth. Distribution. And I stop him with a raised palm. Careful, I tell him. Not quiet. Noah rolls his bucket back a hand's width like he's giving the moment space. You satisfied? He asks me. I'm documented, I say. Satisfied can wait. Lydia finds a sentence and throws it like a rope. I'm sorry, she says, voice wobbling into the right shape. I misread. I got scared. I heard you, I say, and I need the record louder than your apology. I didn't mean harm, she repeats, searching for purchase. Harm doesn't clock in with a memo, I answer. It shows up and does its hours. The guard nods toward a tablet form. We'll need statements, he says. You can remain here, Ms. Cole, and we'll scan IDs. Here is fine, I say. In the light, Jade and Noah can list themselves as witnesses. Anyone else who wishes to attach a name, do it now. A murmur, then 2 hands rise, then 4. The teen, with the phone, lifts his whole arm like school. Me, he says. I filmed too. Good, I say. Keep your copy, share it with the officer, keep it anyway. Mr. Keene clears his throat, finding his professional kindness again. Ms. Cole will also debrief internally. Training, protocol, de-escalation. Add a line, I say. Public incident, public resolution by default. No backrooms for facts that arrived in the open. He hesitates, then nods. Pen already busy on a pad he wasn't using before. We can explore that. Not explore, I say. Implement. Your cameras are only useful if your culture believes them. Lydia shifts her weight, eyes on the floor, voice auditioning for contrition. Do you accept my apology? I accept that you said it, I answer. Forgiveness is a different process. Begin with learning. She stops. The script runs out. She is left with her own voice. I close my purse. The zipper hums like a line drawn true. I lay my palm flat on the leather, feel its familiar give, then slide the strap across my shoulder and set it where it belongs. My chest loosens 1 notch. I do not smile. I steady. Ms. Cole, the guard says, softer now. Do you want to press charges? I want documentation, a public correction already delivered, and a copy of the incident report emailed to my office, I say. Further steps will be a legal decision, not a spectacle. Understood, he says. We'll provide the report number before you leave. Thank you, I say. It lands like a receipt, not a ribbon. Mr. Keene tries a bridge. If you'd like a private room to regroup before your event, I'll regroup right here, I say, then glance at the clock, and then I'll walk to the stage I paid for. Jade's phone chimes. Sent, she says, relief and pride braided in her voice. Got it. My watch buzzes. Layla's message flashes. Received. Saved. Proud of you. Noah tips his chin. You need anything carried? I've been carrying it, I say, and my mouth softens before I reel it back. Thank you. Two women from the second ring step forward. Awkward. Brave. We're sorry we stayed quiet, one says. We didn't know which way it was going. Now you do, I say. Next time, say cameras. It's a sentence that buys time. They nod, like a lesson they won't forget. The teen lowers. His phone, cheeks flushed. You didn't yell, he says, awe and confusion sharing the wheel. I didn't need to, I answer. The truth had a mic. Lydia lifts her head just enough to meet my eyes. There's a question there. The kind that bruises while it tries to heal. What do I do now? She asks. Start with not doing this again, I say. Then ask yourself who taught you to expect the room to tilt toward you and pay that tuition back. I didn't. You did, I say. And you can undo. That's work, not performance. The guard hands me a small printed slip with an incident number. This is your reference, he says. My name's on the bottom if you need follow-up. I will, I say. And you'll update your policy. I glance at Mr. Keene. He nods, a yes that finally seems to belong to him. The atrium breathes. The screens above go to sponsor rotations and a commercial for a sneaker brand that means well. The floor returns to being a floor. The circle loosens. People peel back into errands, into dinners, into the small rivers of their evenings. I stand, with my purse in place and my locket asleep where it should be. I let my palm rest on the leather until the sheikh that never arrived agrees not to visit later. I think of my grandmother, hands on an iron, steam rising, her voice in my kitchen bone. A lie rushes. Truth doesn't run. I feel the click of the lock it again, like a door I know how to close. Ms. Cole, Mr. Keene says, almost humble. Good luck with your launch. It isn't luck, I say, and I don't make it cruel. It's work. Same as this. He nods. The guard nods. Jade gives a small, victorious smile. Noah rolls his bucket away like a man who leaves things cleaner than he found them. I turn toward the stage end of the atrium. My name is still hanging in the air. Not loud, just present. I don't gloat. I don't linger. I walk, steady, past. The fountain that sounds less like applause now and more like a metronome. I have a statement to sign, a report to collect, and a launch to stand inside. I have my purse, I have my locket, I have the record, and I have what I asked for from the... Start the cameras. I want this documented publicly, I say, purse strap where it belongs, feet where they started. Here, out loud, not in a back room. The guard meets my eyes and doesn't flinch. We can do that, he says. We'll state the findings, Mr. Keene clears his throat, voice sliding into corporate felt. Mall management values safety, inclusion, and... No slogans, I cut in. An acknowledgement, plain. He blinks. We're reviewing language. Language isn't a product roadmap, I say. Say what happened. Lydia's breath stutters like a car trying to start. I was scared. It looked like mine. Bay, stop spinning, I say. This is a record, not a reel. The crowd edges closer without moving. The hush has a heartbeat. Jade wipes her eyes with the back of her wrist and steadies her phone. Noah crosses his arms, shoulders square. Like a doorframe you can lean on. Security, I say, turning back. Will you make the statement? He nods once. Yes, I will. Mr. Keene tries to retake the microphone that doesn't exist. Let's ensure we're... Say it plain, I tell him. Then we're done. Evan steps into the circle at last, small and late. Hey, Amina, he says like the name might burn if he holds it too long. I should have said something. I know, I tell him, and I leave the words in the air where he can see his outline reflected. Go on. I froze, he says. I didn't want to pick the wrong side. You picked, I say. You picked quiet. I'm sorry, he says, eyes on the tile. I'll do better. Do better where it costs you, I say. not where it crowns you. He nods as if the lesson can graft itself without pain. The silence accepts him and doesn't applaud. "Officer," I say to the guard, "let's end the part that belongs to you." He straightens. The footage shows Ms. Amina Cole's purse being removed from her shoulder by the other party. He says, voice carrying. "A witness video corroborated that. The purse has been returned. We were wrong to assume otherwise." I pivot to Mr. Keene and management. He looks like a man unlearning a sentence. Then he steps forward and uses a new one. "We were wrong," he says, each word walking on its own legs. "We're sorry." The crowd exhales in one body. A soft, startled sound. Someone says, "Thank you," to no one in particular. Someone else says, "Finally," like a valve opening. Lydia's mouth opens and closes. "Please," she whispers, and the plea has edges. "Please, not the police." "Your fear isn't my luggage," I say. "I won't carry it for you." Will you press charges?" The guard asks, respectful now, not perfunctory. "I will take the report number, the public statement you just made, and the footage," I say. "Legal steps aren't a show. I'll decide with counsel." "We'll make everything available," he says. "We'll also review our response protocols. Start with believing cameras faster than theatrics," I say, "and default to public resolution when the harm arrived public." "We will," he says, and this time it sounds like a promise he's allowed to make. Jade shifts her weight. Voice small. "Do you need water or a hug?" "I need you to keep recording when it matters," I say. "And to take your break on time." She laughs, wet and proud. "Okay." Noah uncrosses his arms. "You want an escort to the stage?" "Folks still looking. I've been visible all day," I say. "I'll walk it." He nods. "Still here if it tilts again." "I know," I say. "Thank you." Evan takes a half step closer, apology trying on a second suit. "Is there anything else I can do?" "Yes," I say. "Next time, lift your head before the screens do." "I will," he says, and the words are light. I let them float where they belong. Mr. Keene tries to hand me a business card with both hands. Tenderness is tactic. "For follow-up," he says. "And again, I'm sorry for how this unfolded." "You're sorry you were seen," I say. "Be sorry enough to be different." He nods, and I watch the nod lodge somewhere behind his ribs where it might become action. Lydia swallows hard. "I have kids," she says, like a key that worked in other locks. "I'm a good person. Good people don't audition their goodness at other people's expense," I say. "You did. Today can be the day you stop." You thought the room would tilt toward you," I say. "Because it often does." "I didn't mean." "You meant the outcome," I say. "You just didn't expect the footage." She looks down, finally seeing the purse isn't in her hands. Her fingers flex like they're practicing letting go all over again. "I'm sorry," she repeats, smaller, without an audience. "I heard you," I say. "I'm not the one you need to convince." "Who then?" she asks, a tear finally doing the work it said it would. "Whatever part of you knew better and did it anyway," I say. "And whatever rooms taught you you'd be believed without proof." The guard's printer chirps. He tears a slip and offers it to me. "Incident number," he says. "My name is below, email on the back." I take it. "I'll follow up. And I'll expect your new policy to have dates, not intentions." "Yes, ma'am," he says. The ma'am edged with respect rather than restraint. A woman in the second ring raises her hand halfway. "We're sorry we were quiet," she says. "We didn't know which way." "Now you do," I say. "Next time say cameras until someone listens." She nods like she's putting the word in her pocket. A man beside her says to himself, "cameras," and tries the sound on his tongue. Jade steps forward and without asking twice bumps her fist against mine like a seal. "Go get your launch," she says. "I will," I say. "We all worked for it." Noah half smiles. "You held the line. I learned from women who hemmed their courage and let the seam show," I say. I just kept my hands flat. Mr. Keene clears his throat again, but the performance is gone. "We'll walk you to the stage, if you'd like," he offers. "Not a rescue, just a route." You can walk behind me, I say. And you can tell your staff what you learned. We will, he says. Evan lingers, the apology still looking for a home. Amina, thank you for not yelling. I didn't need to, I say. The truth had a mic. He nods. It lands slower. This time, which is better than not at all. Lydia blows out a held breath. Can I leave? You'll give your statement, I say. Then you'll leave with your lesson. Mine will stay here on file. She nods, shaken without choreography at last. Okay. Ms. Cole, the guard says quietly. You carried that with a lot of grace. I carried what was mine, I say. I'm not taking anything extra. I feel the weight on my shoulders and shrug, not to toss it off, but to remind my body what belongs to me and what doesn't. Her fear is not a backpack I forgot to return. Her apology is not currency I need to spend. The record is mine, the time is mine. The launch is mine. Say it one more time, I tell Mr. Keene, because repetition is how habits learn new teeth. He swallows, then meets the circle. We were wrong, he says. We're sorry. Thank you, I say, and this time the words don't scrape. They land like a stamp. Now sign it. We'll sign it, he says. We'll send it. Good, I say, because I have a stage to walk onto, and I prefer not to carry what isn't mine. I tighten the strap, feel my grandmother's locket settle against my sternum like a metronome. I turn toward the direction of the lights, not rushed, not slow, exact, and I let the atrium reshape around the sentence we just taught it. Truth doesn't run, and when it arrives, it speaks where it was silenced. The film softens to my grandmother's hands, brown and sure, parting my hair, braiding, tucking, patting. My own voice fades on the last line. Truth doesn't run. The screens dim to ordinary light, and the crowd claps, not loud, not showy, the kind of clapping that lets breath go. See? Ms. Ruth says, eyes bright. Heat, pressure. I felt both, I say. You taught me not to scorch. You shined, she says. Now go on. Thank you, I tell her, and I mean the years as much as the moment. Jade steps from behind the counter, apron askew, phone in her fist like a medal. I sent the clip, she says, cheeks blotchy. I saved it too. You did perfect, they say. Drink water, take your break. She laughs, breath hitching. I will. And you were, she searches, exact. Exact is all I had, I say. Thank you for lending some. Noah rolls his bucket closer, wheels whispering against tile. You good? He asks, quiet as tile under shoes. I'm documented, I say. That's the kind of good that lasts. He nods like a metronome. River's moving again, he says, chin tipping toward the crowd peeling back into errands. It is, I say. You helped. Left hand, quick. Off the strap, he repeats, half smile. Some things you say until folks hear. Keep saying it, I tell him. They'll hear faster next time. Evan hovers near the planter, clutching apology, like a late ticket. Amina, he says, voice small, eyes finally up. I'm sorry, I should have. Next time, I say, not cruel, not soft. Speak when it costs you. He swallows. I'll try. Don't try, I say. Decide. He nods, the lesson landing where it can do work. Decide, he repeats, as if practice is a verb with teeth. Lydia sits on a bench beneath a mall directory, hands folded like she never learned how to hold anything else. Her certainty is rubble at her feet. She looks up, looks down, looks nowhere. I let my eyes rest on her for a heartbeat, no longer than it takes to remember she is not mine to carry. I'm sorry, she says, not projecting now, just releasing air that tastes like regret. I heard you, I say. Begin again somewhere better. She nods into her own silence. I turn away because mercy is also a direction. The guard approaches with the neatness of a man who corrected himself on purpose. Report will hit your inbox tonight, he says. Public statements already posted to the mall feed. Good, I say. Attach the clips. Keep the captions plain. Yes, ma'am, he says. And thanks for holding your ground. I held what was mine, I say. Ground, purse, name. Mr. Keene stops a step short like he practiced not interrupting. Training memo will go out this week, he says. Public incidents resolved publicly. Camera verification before crowd management. It will have dates, not just intentions. That's a start, I say. Make it a habit. It will be, he says. He looks like a man who met his reflection and chose not to look away. Good luck on your launch. It's work, I say, but I'll take the wish. Ms. Ruth's kiosk light skims my purse. I slide the zipper open with 2 fingers and touch the seam where I stitched my name tag. My ink dim, still legible. I find the locket and let my thumb run the ridge where my name is engraved. It steadies me like a rail in a moving train. Child, Ms. Ruth says, hearing a sound I didn't make. Breathe once more for me. I do, in, out, heat, pressure, shine. A woman from the second ring steps near, tentative. For what it's worth, she says. I'm sorry I waited to clap. Clapping. Late is still clapping, I say. Next time, say cameras early. Cameras, she repeats, testing the weight. I can do that. Do it, I say, for whoever needs it. The teen with the phone edges in, shoulders squared by a brand new muscle. Hey, he says. I sent my video to the officer. Do. Keep a copy, I tell him. And keep your battery charged. He grins, relief finally finding his face. I will. The fountain keeps its soft hush like it's cooling the day. I touch the strap where it crosses my collarbone and feel the leather settle into me like a returning thought. My team's text buzzes on my wrist. Received. Stage ready. Green room left of banner. You okay? I text back. Okay. Coming. Go. Ms. Ruth says, and her smile makes space. Let the good work be the last word. It will, I say. But you get the last look. She laughs. I already had it. I turn toward the atrium mouth where evening is pouring itself through. Glass. The screens behind me cool from myth back to merchandise. The air ahead tastes clean, like rain thought about arriving and decided to wait. Evan calls after me, softer. I'll lift my head next time, he says. I expect you to, I answer, not slowing. Jade waves a small wave with big hands. Break, she mouths, then points to the clock and actually goes. Good, I say to no one because good needs to be noticed to grow. Noah gives me a 2-finger salute. Holler if the river bends rough. I've learned its curves, I say. Right. I pass the bench where Lydia sits. She doesn't look up. I don't stop. I am not a destination she's earned today. The crowd has thinned to families and teenagers, and the tired kindness of retail workers going home. Footsteps pick up the simple rhythm of lives unpaused. I match it. At the edge of the atrium, a little girl with 2 bright barrettes watches. Me with an attention I recognize from mirrors I didn't have as a kid. She lifts her hand, half wave, half question. I nod, a permission slip. She grins like she discovered a new way to be tall. Outside the glass doors, the evening folds around me, warm, shoulder level, not asking me to duck. I stop just long enough to feel the difference between inside and out, between being held in a story and writing one. I look at my reflection in the darkening pane. A woman with a purse on her shoulder. A small steel moon of a locket tucked against her sternum. A name? She doesn't have to drag, Ms. Cole. The guard calls from inside, just once, not urgent. I turn and he lifts a finger in a tiny promise. Policy, he mouths. Dates. Good, I mouth back. Habits. He nods. I nod. The door inhales and closes. I take the first step toward the green room I paid for, then a second, then a third. I don't look back because the work behind me is signed and stamped. I don't hurry because the work ahead of me is mine, and it won't start without me. My hand drifts to the purse again. The locket clicks against a key like a punctuation. Mark. A purse, I whisper, almost laughing at the smallness of the word, and a truth that didn't run. The evening answers with the simple honesty of streetlight. I walk into it, steady, exact, carrying only what belongs to me.